Great Thursday evening, February 18th, 2021. To God be the glory for a beautiful closing of yet another opportunity to thank the Lord. We are in the 26th chapter of Numbers, yes. And it was a long chapter talking about lineage and heritage and families and who was the son of such and such, and it was just really interesting. And it talked about in verse 59 the parents of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Yeah, his mom and dad was Jochebed and Amram. And it says that she bare unto Amram the 3 children, and then it went into Aaron's kids. And it just talked about what was passed to the next generation. And remember this morning where I said we had to be very careful who we connect with, who we yoke up with, who we form one flesh with, because we take on their attributes. We become a single unit. And especially if you have children, the children take on the attributes of both. And if there's someone who is not yielded to the Lord, they could take on weaknesses. We know that we are all born in sin, but that can become a detriment, a liability. But when we yield everything to the Lord, it can turn into a strength. He works everything out for our good. So someone who was born and received a very stubborn bent, if it's yielded to the Lord, that stubborn bent can be used for strength and tenacity, right? So everything, when it's given to the Lord, he still can make something beautiful. And we know that the Lord made something beautiful out of Moses' life, even though he had a stuttering problem and that speech impediment, but he was the Lord's mouthpiece. And that's what I'm saying. Let's not give up hope, even if circumstances are not perfect. God can perfect anything and have himself get the glory out of any situation. Did you get anything, or what do you have to say about that?
Nothing really.
You're going to be a wonderful husband and father, and you're going to have beautiful children, and they're going to have great attributes, and they're going to be great leaders. So I'm going to speak that into your generation, and know that God's going to bless you with your family. So we are in Proverbs 18, since today is February 18th, and what spoke to you? 4. The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. And I was about to say, oh yeah, go ahead.
Because just descriptive of how important and how influential words can be. So
Yes.
choose them carefully.
Yes. Someone sent me a message today, and I deleted it because it was something that was just so, they were almost speaking defeat and almost death, darkness, and they were, woe is me, and oh, I hope this doesn't happen, and worry. Listen, you give that to the Lord. You trust him. Like I said, if it's a situation that is full of doubt and despair, the Lord wants us to hope and trust in him. Give it to him. Because we know in the same chapter of Proverbs, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And they that love to speak in their words, whether they text it, whether they email it, whether they say it, they will eat the fruit thereof. So we want our words to be God ordained. and know that the Lord will make room for what he has intended. In the verse 14, it says, the spirit of a man will sustain an infirmity or a weakness. He will give strength to whatever is a deficit in our life. And his grace is sufficient. No matter if we're born with an impediment or a disability, whatever, you're still perfect and complete in the Lord. Whether you have just genetic predispositions that might be, not ideal. So what? The Spirit of the Lord will strengthen that person. But a wounded spirit or a broken spirit, who can bear? The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge. That's what we're doing. And we are to do that for the rest of our lives. And the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. A man's gift, this is what we are hoping for, and we know that the Lord will do. Even with our weaknesses and things that are a challenge, he still has a path for us. He knows the plans that he has for each one of us. Plans to prosper us, to give us a hope and a future and an expected end. And he will bring us before great men, great women, those of influence. So let's speak words of life and know that the Lord has great intentions for all of us because we're still breathing. And we are to declare his marvelous works because he has brought us out of darkness into his marvelous light. Okay, have a wonderful evening. Enjoying the presence of the Lord.